The last time I spoke to my best friend, we were sitting in the back seat after a long night out, and when I told him we're gonna be all right, yeah? He just looked out the window and said, you might be. He moved across the country 2 weeks later and hasn't answered a call since. I guess I'll start with the last night I ever saw Cody. We were sitting in the back seat of Amber's car. Her old silver Camry that always smelled like fast food and coconut air freshener. It was a Saturday night. Or Sunday morning, depending how you look at it. We'd been out drinking. Hitting up some of our old spots in Pittsburgh, Cavo, the old dive on Butler Street, and finally that cheap bar on Carson where they never carded and the bathrooms always looked like a crime scene. Cody wasn't talking much. That wasn't like him. Back in the day, you couldn't get him to shut up. He was the guy making jokes, stirring shit up, always the center of everything. But that night, he just sat there, staring out the window, letting the conversation swirl around him. I was buzzed, leaning into that warm, loose feeling where the world feels soft and everything seems like it might be okay. And I looked at him and said it, just kind of mumbled it under my breath. We're gonna be all right, yeah? I meant me and him. Us. Our friendship. All the stuff we'd been through together. It felt like it was cracking and I was reaching for something to hold on to. Just a little reassurance. Something solid. He didn't even look at me. He stared out the rain-covered window, face half-lit by the traffic light. Then he said, flat and quiet, you might be. That was it. You might be. I didn't know what to say after that. I kind of laughed like maybe it was a joke, but he didn't smile. He didn't say anything else. Amber turned up the radio, some old Blink 182 song playing like a ghost of high school, and no one talked the rest of the ride. She dropped me off at our apartment like nothing happened. I remember standing in the parking lot, watching her taillights fade, feeling something shift inside me. Cody didn't come home that night. Or the next night. Or the night after. A week later, all his stuff was gone. Drawers empty. Closet bare. His side of the room looked like no one had ever lived there. I thought maybe he was crashing with Amber long term. But when I called her, she said he'd moved. Moved where? Oregon, she said. Like it was no big deal. When? Like, a few days ago? He didn't tell you. He didn't. And he hadn't said anything to her either. Just left. Deleted his Instagram, his Facebook, changed his number. I tried calling from a different line straight to voicemail. I tried messaging mutual friends. No one knew anything, or they said they didn't. I didn't sleep much that first week. I kept going over everything. Every fight we had, every weird moment. Trying to figure out what I missed, what I did, what he did. I thought maybe he had some kind of breakdown. Or maybe something happened between us that I hadn't noticed. Or maybe he just got tired of everything, of me. But here's the thing. I don't let people in easy. I don't trust quick. Cody was the one person I did. And he left like I was nothing. And that messes with you. I haven't stopped thinking about it since. And I've started digging. Because something doesn't add up. And I'm gonna figure it out. First, I tried to let it go. I told myself people grow apart. People move on. I tried to believe maybe Cody just needed a fresh start. Maybe he didn't owe me anything. But that never sat right with me. Not after everything we'd been through. We lived together for almost 4 years. Before that, we'd been tight since high school. I'd seen him cry after his dad died. He'd picked me up off the floor the night my ex cheated and moved out. He was the best man at my sister's wedding. And he just disappeared? No text. No explanation. Not even a goodbye. Started to eat at me. I couldn't focus at work. I stopped going out. My phone stayed dry. It was like losing a limb. Only no one around me understood why I was grieving a friend like this. So I started asking around. I hit up Amber again. She was cagey. I already told you, she said. He left. That's it. Amber, I said. You were with him almost every day. You had to know something. She didn't answer. Did he say anything about me? I asked. She hung up. That's when I knew for sure. She was hiding something. So I called his brother, Nate. I hadn't talked to him in months, but we'd always gotten along. Hey, it's Drew, I said. Have you heard from Cody? He was silent for a beat. Then he said, you should probably stop looking. What? I mean it, Nate said. Just leave it alone. He didn't sound mad. He sounded guilty. Nate, what happened? More silence. Then he said, You ever think maybe you didn't know him as well as you thought? He hung up after that. That line stuck with me for days. I kept thinking back to little things. Nights Cody disappeared for hours. That time he lied to his boss about being in the hospital. The way he could turn cold when he didn't get his way. How he once told me, during a late night in college, "Loyalty's just something people say when they want to trap you." Back then, I thought he was just drunk. But maybe he meant it. I started digging deeper. One night, around 2 a.m., I got a message from an old mutual friend, Lexi. We weren't close, but she'd seen one of my Instagram posts, a photo of me and Cody from 3 years ago with the caption, "Miss you, man. Wish you'd said goodbye." Her message just said, "There's a reason he left. You really want to know?" I stared at that message for 10 minutes before replying. "Yeah, I need to know." What she told me made my stomach turn. Turns out, Cody had been seeing someone else while he was with Amber. For almost a year. But it wasn't just a random hookup. It was my ex, Sarah. The one who cheated on me and left me broken for months. And it gets worse. Lexi told me Cody was the guy she cheated with. I couldn't breathe when I read that. I sat there in the dark, the screen glowing in my face, heart pounding like a drum in my ears. I called Lexi, demanded more. She said she wasn't supposed to tell anyone. Cody had sworn her to silence, said it would ruin everything. He told her we weren't really close like that anymore. He said I'd move on eventually. And when Sarah broke it off with him right before he left town, he told Lexi he was done with all the fake bullshit back home. That included me. He used me, lied to me, looked me in the eye for months while sleeping with the one person he knew had torn me apart. Then he packed up and vanished like I didn't matter. That's when something inside me changed. This wasn't just about closure anymore. This was about making things right. And I don't care how far he's run, or how deep he's hiding. I'm going to find Cody. And when I do, he's going to understand what it feels like to be betrayed by the one person you thought would never hurt you. Finding Cody wasn't easy. He'd covered his tracks well. No new social media. No updates. Even his old email bounced back. But I wasn't giving up. I started by calling around mutual friends, old coworkers, even people from our high school who I hadn't spoken to in years. Most didn't know anything. Some didn't want to get involved. A few were flat out weird about it, like they were afraid to talk. Then I got lucky. One of Cody's old coworkers from the steel mill, Danny, said he'd heard Cody took a job in Bend, Oregon, doing HVAC work for some company out there. I didn't think much of it until I called the company pretending to be a recruiter. "Yeah, Cody just started here a few months back," the woman on the phone said. "Real quiet guy. Keeps to himself. Bend, Oregon. That's where he was." I took time off work. Told my boss I had a family emergency. Packed my car and started driving west. 32 hours on the road gives you time to think. Too much time. I kept replaying things in my head. The fights Cody broke up for me. The Christmases he spent at my house when his mom was too drunk to remember what day it was. The way he hugged me at my dad's funeral. That night we climbed the roof of our first apartment and swore we'd never be like our fathers. And then I'd remember what he did with Sarah. And that he never said sorry. Not once. When I got to Bend, I didn't go straight to him. I needed to see for myself first. I parked outside his job the next morning and waited. Sure enough, there he was. Walking into the building with a coffee in hand, headphones in. Like nothing happened. I followed him for 3 days. Just watched. He had a small apartment on the edge of town. He went to the same gas station every morning. Ate alone at this taco place on Tuesdays. Quiet life. On the 4th day, I got out of the car. But as I was walking toward his apartment, something stopped me. A kid, maybe 5 or 6, ran across the parking lot straight into Cody's arms. Cody lifted him up and laughed. Then a woman came out of the unit. Blonde, tall, maybe early 30s. She kissed Cody on the cheek and took the kid's hand. They went inside together. I just stood there frozen. He had a kid? He had a family? My stomach twisted. Was that why he left? Had he started over with someone else while he was still tangled up in my life back home? I waited until night. When I saw the woman leave in her car, I knocked. He opened the door. His face dropped the second he saw me. "Drew?" "Yeah," I said. "We need to talk." He didn't say anything. Just stepped aside and let me in. The apartment was small. Quiet. Pictures on the walls. A few toys on the floor. I looked around and said, "You got a kid now?" He nodded. "Yeah. His name's Tyler." "Yours?" He nodded again. "Yeah. With Sarah." He looked confused. "What?" "No. God, no. That was a mistake. A long time ago. So you admit it." He sank into the couch, head in his hands. "I didn't want to hurt you, man. It wasn't supposed to happen." "You didn't want to hurt me?" I said, my voice rising. "You slept with the one person you knew would destroy me. Then ran. Blocked me. Like I was trash. I thought you'd never forgive me," he said. "So I left. You didn't even try. I couldn't face you. Coward." He didn't argue. Just nodded. I almost left then. I almost punched him. But something made me stay. Because I could feel there was more. And I was right. He looked up, eyes red, and said, "It wasn't just Sarah." "What do you mean?" He hesitated. Then he said, "There's something else you don't know." And I swear the air in that room changed. "What?" I asked, cold. He stood up, pacing now like he couldn't sit still. Then he said, "I wasn't just with her. I helped her leave you." I blinked. "What the hell are you talking about?" "She was scared of you, man," he said. "She said you were controlling. She asked me to help her disappear. So I did." That hit me like a truck. "She said what?" He nodded. "She told me you watched her every move. That you made her feel small. That she couldn't breathe. I didn't know what to believe, but I helped her move out when you were at work. I told her where to go. What to say. My heart was thudding so loud I could barely hear him. "She lied to you," I said. "Maybe," he said. "But I believed her. And I chose her. And I know that makes me a piece of shit." I stood there, shaking. He betrayed me for her. Then helped her tear my life apart. And now he had a new life. Peaceful, quiet, happy. But I was still stuck in the wreckage he left behind. And I wasn't done with him yet. I stood in Cody's living room. Every memory burning through my brain like a wildfire. He looked different now. Softer. Like fatherhood and hiding had taken the fight out of him. But it didn't take the weight off what he did. "You helped her disappear," I said again. "You helped her lie to me. After everything we went through." He didn't deny it. "I thought I was doing the right thing," he said quietly. "She said she was scared. I believed her. Maybe I wanted to believe her." "You know damn well she wasn't scared," I snapped. "She just didn't want to deal with the mess she made. You gave her an exit and then took everything else from me too. I didn't mean to take everything. But you did." The room was silent. Then I laughed. It wasn't a happy laugh. It was that kind you let out when you're standing on the edge, too far gone to pretend anymore. "You said I might be all right," I said. "That night in the car. That's what you meant, right? That you were already done with me." He looked down. I walked to the door. "I'm not gonna burn your life down, Cody. I'm not that guy. But I want you to know something." He looked up. "I finally see you for who you are. Not the friend who had my back. Not the brother I thought I had. You're a coward. You don't fix problems, you run from them. You build your peace on other people's pain." He flinched just a little. "And me," I said. "I might have made mistakes. Maybe I held on too tight. Maybe I didn't see the cracks. But I never lied. I never betrayed you." I reached into my jacket and pulled out the envelope. Inside were photos Lexi gave me, screenshots, texts from Sarah, even a picture of Cody and her together the week before she left me. I'd made copies. "Your girlfriend deserves to know the kind of man she's raising a kid with." He lunged forward, face white. "Wait, Drew, please." "I won't mail it," I said. "Not if you do one thing." He froze. "Call Amber. Call Nate. Call everyone you ghosted. Tell them the truth. Tell them why you left. Stop hiding." He sat down, pale, breathing hard. "You do that, and I'll let you live in peace. You don't. And I will tear down this little life you built lie by lie." He didn't speak. I opened the door. "I used to think losing you was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Turns out it was the best." And I left. 2 weeks later, I got a message from Amber. She said Cody called. Said he came clean about everything. She didn't sound shocked, just sad. I don't know if he told the whole truth. I don't care. I didn't send the envelope. Not because he earned mercy, but because I had already won. I don't think about Cody much anymore. I moved to Cleveland, got a new job, started fresh. I still don't trust people easy, but I know one thing for sure, sometimes revenge isn't about ruining someone else's life. It's about reclaiming your own. And making damn sure the ones who betrayed you never get to forget it.